This is FanSpeak, a weekly live show where the fans of comics and its community are our guests. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Chester C. Busby III, and I am joined by a very, very interesting panel today. We are going to be talking about an Indiegogo here with Andrew and Avery, their hero Indiegogo that's going on. That's going to be really exciting getting into that. But of course, before we do that, we want to give all our information, and we're very appreciative to all of you that are here. Of course, one of the big things you can do to help us is, of course, we appreciate the subscribes and the likes and stuff, but the big thing you do is hit that share button and let everybody know what we're doing. Now keep in mind, with our links down below, we have our FanSpeak on Facebook. Please go over there and join that and get involved in the conversation. You can put in reviews, you can put in opinions, you can put up your art, you can do whatever you want, and we're going to interact and let everybody see what you're doing, and we can enjoy this comic book indie revival that is going on together. Also, I have my Twitter and my Facebook down below, and that will allow you to get a hold of me, and you can say, Chester, put me on the show, and Chester will, because this is a show for the fans. That is the whole reason FanSpeak has been created. We also have our links for our podcast as well as our donation buttons, which we use the money we get from those to have giveaways. And if you're interested in getting involved in that, please do. I see we got a lot of people in here already today. It's very, very, very happy to see that. I see P.S. Melter is here. Just talking to you earlier. We got Trusty Psychic. Salutations, sir. Absolutely. Santa Raven, of course, was in here earlier saying Merry Christmas. Yeah, well, Merry Christmas. We are coming into the holidays. That is going to be a lot of fun. And just keep in mind, guys, as you listen along, if you have any questions or any comments you'd like to make to the panel up here today, please feel free to do so. So let's go ahead and jump over and say hello to our folks, and then we're going to get right into talking to our artist and our writer of Hero. Well, Booster, how you doing? Now, I got a beautiful sunny day out here today in Japan, and you and I are kind of similar part of the world. So tell me, did you get a nice day over there? Are you happy?
Yeah, it is. It is a beautiful day in Aotearoa. So it's a perfect opportunity to have my curtains closed and just skulk in a little dark room and talk to strangers on the internet.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true. I don't know why you insist on calling it Aotearoa when we know you're not Maori. Just call it New Zealand, dude.
How dare you? How dare you oppress me just now?
It is my job to oppress you. We're also joined by an interviewee that we had before, and we're very happy to have come over here and join us on FanSpeak. We have Mr. Johnny Allen, the creator of Stickman. How are you doing today, sir?
Again, I should learn how to unmute my mic. I'm doing good, guys. Doing really good. I'm thrilled to be here again, and looking forward to hearing all about Hero.
Yeah, no, so are we, man. It's a really good looking project. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, I'm joined by the creator of Ignition, Todd. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing really good. Really good. How about everyone else?
Oh, I think everyone's feeling good. We got Thundero, the mighty Lord of Lightning. Sir, I bow to you. How are you?
Greetings, sir. How are you?
I feel very, very well today. I'm very happy, very excited. It's going to be a good weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And of course, we have the Denali Llama, as we always must have.
Absolutely. Staple of these shows. Mm-hmm. Moving on. Fortunately, we don't have the Wolf to give us the chairman monologue, which he usually does for these segments.
I guess so do it, Denali.
I guess I have to do it.
Oh, my goodness. Go ahead.
So here it goes.
Camera's on, boy.
Well, thank you, Kiwi. So to talk about things, the Wolf usually starts out being a professor and says, you know, when we built this channel, what we were trying to achieve and move is letting the fan talk about certain subjects, and some of those subjects is distribution. Again, it has come up, you know, with our smaller creators. Just the other day, we had Peter Cimenti talking about distribution, saying that direct market, which is people, thousands of people coming to him directly to get the books because they can't get it because of diamond distribution, and it's outpacing, that growth is outpacing the actual distribution, which is a shame. We had John Allen talking about his experience with diamond when we interviewed him last Friday, about how that was a frustrating situation where, you know, there is things that needs to be changing to allow growth again. So there are changes that's happening. We are talking about it in a way that we are going to continue doing those changes is by continue voicing our opinion, voicing our concern, and telling them and saying, we have to change if we're going to grow. Without change, there will be no growth. Welcome to FanSpeak.
Very good. Very good. Claps, claps. Good job, man. Good job. Yay!
Really
Now,
good.
the chairman of the board is not here today for a very, very good reason. So, but we do appreciate Denali
Oh,
stepping
it better
in.
be a good reason.
It is a good reason, actually. Family first, dude. Family first. The one thing I would say on that comments, and he's talking about distribution there, and of course we have all talked about distribution as well as many other things many times. I have said it before that on Sunday on Brad's channel, Pencil for Life, which Thundero is going to do me a favor and going to drop that link to Brad's channel. We have a very big announcement. I joined Brad for comic book reviews, and we have a guest coming with us, and it is directly related to the conversation that Denali has just mentioned and the one that Johnny had the other day as well. So do not miss that. Come over to that channel because that's pretty big news. It actually shows, I really wish I could talk about it, but it shows that there is movement going on in the higher level companies that are actually paying attention to what's going on. That's all I'll say about it. But guys, do not miss that show. Pencil for Life, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm telling you, it's going to be big. It's very cool. But other than that, let's get right in here and talk to the writer and artist of Hero. Now, we have Andrew Charipar and we have Avery Butterworth with us. So, hello, Andrew. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Oh, well, and of course, we have Avery as well. Hello, Avery.
Hey, how's it going?
Now, Andrew is the writer and Avery is the artist. Am I right?
No,
Close.
Andrew.
I co-wrote the book with my son Michael, and I illustrated it, and Avery colored it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
good all around because we have seen this project and we really enjoyed it. So why don't we start with Andrew then, since you wrote it with your son, which sounds great. How old is your son, by the way?
He's now 25.
Oh, wow.
But when we first came up with the story idea, he was in his late teens, and so every time I tell somebody that I created this character with my son, they go, "Oh, that's so cute." And I'm like,
Yep.
"Yeah, this is him. This is the big, huge kid who's 25 years old." And yeah, it's kind of kills the mystique of telling the story, but you know, that's what it is.
Most of us in here are about the same age with kids about the same age. So, you know, other than the booster thing, Kiwi, that creepy creature on the end there, he's only 26, but we let him in here. So
Kiwi's adorable.
I don't know about that. It's kind of creepy. I'm freaked out. I don't know.
Ah.
All right. But anyway, go ahead, Andrew, and tell us, well, you know, the general interview question, right? Where did the idea come from? How did it come to be? And while you do that, I'm going to bring up your project and show it. Go ahead, man.
Excellent. Well, the idea for Hero actually came to me back in 2011. My dog and I were taking out the trash, and on our way to the dumpster, this gigantic raccoon jumped out of the dumpster and ran past us. And for some reason, that image got stuck in my head all day long. And that evening, I came up with an idea of a character, a little heroic character that was supposed to be a raccoon with a sword and had this giant snake like wrapping around behind him. And I did this illustration, and it came out pretty cool. I did some old school white acrylic paint splatter in the background, and I really liked the image. And then I started talking to the kids about it, and my son and my daughter Ayla, and we started like coming up on an idea for a story that this character would be involved in. And then we put it in a drawer and we sat on it for about 3 years. Michael and I were at a New York convention where we have a friend that lives in New York, so we go up there all the time. And we were in Artist Alley, and I was sketching and doing sketches crazy all weekend long. And after we got done with the show, I turned to Mike and I said, Mike, next time we do a show, we need a book, because all I was doing was busting my butt doing sketches. And I said, we need to have a book. So we went back and we went through all the different ideas that we'd come up through, excuse me, through all the years. And we pulled Hero out and said, this is the one we're going to work on. And for the next 2 years, from 2014 to 2016, my weekends and my evenings, when I was done with my regular day job, was spent working on Hero Book 1. And we finished it in 2016 and immediately started on Book 2. And as of right this second, we're halfway through Book 3. And about a year ago or so, I was showing Avery the project and we were talking about it. And he said to me, if you want this book to reach your intended audience, which is children, it needs to be in full color. And I'm very much a black and white and gray artist. I don't think in color, not as much as you think somebody should, but I always think in black and white. And I asked him, I said, would you be willing to do this for me? Because he actually has some pro credit in doing color work. It's not his biggest thing. It's not his favorite thing to do, but he agreed to do it for me. And he started working on it. So he started coloring Book 1 while I was working on Book 2 and Book 3. And he just finished Book 1. And the colors are fantastic. It takes my art and it takes my characters and it just blows them up and makes them so much more fantastic. It's unbelievable. When I don't actually have any of the comparison pages on the Indiegogo where you see the black and white and then you see the color version next to it, but he just takes my art to a whole nother level, and I greatly appreciate it. And as soon as he got done with Book 1, I handed off pages of Book 2, and he's already working on Book 2, coloring Book 2. So we're hoping by next year we'll be able to offer an Indiegogo for Book 2. And hopefully by that time, when he's done coloring it, I'll be done drawing Book 3 and moving right into Book 4. Because we actually, by the time we got to the end of Book 1, Mike and I had started to develop an overarching storyline, and we're looking at least 10 books in the series.
Well, I have to say you have a lot more art on here than the last time I looked at it, and I like it.
Okay. Yeah. I posted a whole bunch more pages.
Yeah.
I was on John Malin's show last week, and I wanted to show off some new stuff, so I put some new pages up just for that. So.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, we really liked it when we checked it out before. But let's get Avery's opinion on this. The coloring looks really good, by the way. Avery, why don't you give your side of your getting into this, man?
Andrew and I have been friends, I don't know, since high school, since,
I'm his best friend. Best friend.
Person I hate the least. Let's not get carried away with using words like friend.
I like this guy. I like him a lot.
Yeah, ready.
But, and he was showing me the book, and I was just like, man, this doesn't, like you said, this needs to be in color. I'm willing to do it for you.
Well, I like the colors.
Well, thank you. Been working on it for a while in my spare time, and Book 2 is actually moving along at a lot faster pace than Book 1 did coloring it. There were times in Book 1, there would be just, a couple months. I wouldn't have any time to work on it. And then I'd have to go back and oh, wait, how was I coloring this? What was the style? Let me figure it out again.
Now, that's interesting you say that, because I know Todd had made some comments about some of the things he liked, and he was mentioning the difference between the painterly style and a more cartoony style with the drawing and the art. So maybe you can go ahead and elaborate upon that a little bit, Todd. Todd, there's a mute button. It turns on the mic.
There's some pages that I saw that sort of had backgrounds that almost looked like hyper realistic, and versus some pages that we saw that had sort of a animated or 2-cell shaded style. Now I'm seeing almost like a lot of the work has a little more textured look to it, which I actually like even more so. So, do the pages that have the different style, do they denote like a dream, or what are they about?
Oh yeah, like the pages that are like all green and stuff, or that greenish yellow.
Yeah.
That's a story being told.
Ah.
So that's the reason it looks different. And like the page with the owl where all the background panels are all purple and stuff, that's another story that's being told. If something
pages.
happens in the story that pulls you away from what's actually going on where you're at, I try to identify that it's something different. It's something being told by using color and just like color holding everything, because it's a conversation. It's something the characters are having a picture in their mind as they're being told this.
Yeah, one of the things that Mike and I did is that we can't, when the characters are going on their journey, one of them, Hero, is telling his best friend Pudge a story, and we called it the story within a story. And we had so much fun doing it that we've actually said, we're going to do this in every book. Every book is going to have a story within a story. And it helped me in two different ways. The first way is I changed the material that I was using. For book one, instead of just doing straight black and white inks, I used charcoal pencil. And it allowed me to kind of break out of what I was doing and go in a different direction whilst maintaining what I was doing. But it allowed me a little like a refresher while I'm doing the art. And Avery, when he did the coloring, did that two-tone type of coloring. And just when you're looking and reading the story, it's going to blow you away at how well the coloring separates the story from the story within a story. But it flows so well together. The pages that I previewed there were the full pages that he did. Just imagine like one panel would be full color, and then the next two panels would be the dual tone, and then the next page might have three, and then the next one there might be two panels where it's regular colored and one. He denotes it very, very well, but it works. It works so well in the storytelling. And we did the same thing in book two, and instead of doing charcoal pencils, I used a thicker black ink, and in the third book I went full pencils, smearing it and everything. I just had a great time, and I can't wait to see those pages in color. But
that sounds amazing, guys.
Avery's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and like I said, we had gone over this, and we actually only had one complaint. We do pick these things. We pick these Indiegogos apart. We do it from a place of love because we want to see everyone improve. We're not trolls that are hacking. We're actually we want to give advice as a consumer, what we see, what we would prefer, those kind of things. We're always trying to help in that way. And so there was only one thing we actually had a complaint about, and it's a minor thing, which I'll get to later. But I do see over here in the chat, we have R2D2 for life, and we have Vailnit is in here, Hail Raven, of course. And there's a bunch of questions being asked. Angry Martian is also in here. Dave, welcome. And these questions I know that people on the panel want to ask. So let me get over, because the chat wants to know a few things. So let's go to Booster first, because I know his question is being asked in the chat itself. Go ahead.
I actually have a different question now.
Well, you asked the first one first, please, Mr. Booster.
Oh, fine. So the first question would be, what creature exactly is Hero?
Oh, that's a good question. I love answering that one. He was originally supposed to be based on the raccoon that we saw. But when I did the drawing, when I did the first illustration, I drew his legs really, really, really long. And Avery commented to me when he saw it, he said, that looks more like a kangaroo than a raccoon. And I started thinking about it and going, yeah, it does. It doesn't look like a raccoon at all. And I said, well, you know what? We're just going to make it our own thing. And the valley that they live in, that his family is from, is the Tilmar Valley. So we called his species a Tilmaroon. So it's a completely new and made up creature. But a lot of the creatures that are in the story are based on real creatures. But he is special. He and his family are special because they're pulled out of our imagination.
All right. Second question would be: would there be anything in this for an adult to read instead of a child. Like, say, something for children and adults to enjoy, like a Don Bluth movie.
Oh, absolutely. We actually put some references in there that there's references to The Hobbit. There's references to all different movies that we like. Matter of fact, book 2, which Avery's working on right now, starts off with a scene where Hero is running out of a forest holding this giant gemmed rock, and all of a sudden these tree frogs jump out and start throwing spears and darts and arrows at him. It's kind of our our little homage to Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I told Mike that it hasn't happened yet, but there's going to be a scene in which Hero and Pudge is the bird, go into like a pub or something, and the bartender says, "We don't allow birds in here. Get them out of here." And I'm like, I haven't found a way to fit that into the story just yet, but it's going to happen. We don't serve their kind here, and it's going to happen. But we take that's right. We take one of actually the overarching storyline that we developed. Hero is one of 13 siblings, and his other 12 siblings have gone out into the world and have gone on to different adventures. And what he finds out is that he needs to find all of them because they each have been given a gift from the gods. And he needs to, in order to defeat the evil that's coming after him, that's part of one of the subtext to this whole story, is he needs to collect these gifts. And the reason why we set that up is because it allows us to take Hero and his best friend Pudge and put him into different stories. Like in book 3, he's going to find his oldest sister, who's like the Empress of China in their world. So we get to go in, we get to develop into Chinese mythology and stuff like that. In the 4th book we have planned, he goes to find one of his brothers who's a pirate. So we're going to have a high sea pirate adventure. And we've got others planned, and we can't wait to do it. But we kind of took the idea from Harry Potter. You know how in Harry Potter, he has to go out and find all the Horcruxes, and he has to destroy them all in order to beat the bad guy?
Sure.
Well, we're doing something similar to that, where he has to go out and find all these gifts in order to beat the bad guy. And we haven't decided just yet if he's actually going to accomplish this or not. It's still something that's up in the air. But one of the other things that I like to say when I reference Harry Potter is that all the books are going to kind of grow with the audience. The first book is very much kid friendly. It's very much all ages. The second book as well. But as the book series grows, the threats are going to get more. The action's going to get more. It's like if you think about the Harry Potter movies or the books, if anybody's read the books, the first book was all fun and games. The last book was all out war.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're going to do. So somebody who's maybe 5 or 6 years old that gets introduced to book 1 now, by the time we get to book 10, they'll be in their mid-teens and they're going to be able to handle, whatever we throw at them at that point. But I mean, it's something that we're consciously thinking about as the story progresses, is that our readers, we know, are going to be able to handle more and more. Actually, a funny story. I know I can talk forever and ever. I have a group of friends that I call my first look friends. I send them copies of the book when it's done to get their first look. The majority of them are reviewers and podcasters, and the majority of them have children. And one of my friends, who's a podcaster, has, at the time when book 1 was done, had a 4-year-old, and I sent it to him, and his son loved the book. He even did drawings for me that are actually in book 2. But when I got done with the backup story in book 2, which had a very scary moment in it, I sent it to him first. I said, "Hey, let your son take a look at that and tell me if this frightens him at all. Because if it does, I want to redo it. I don't want to scare people just yet." And he showed it to him, and he came back and said he loved it. He thought it was great. I'm like, perfect. I got the seal of approval from the little kid. I'm happy. I'm ready to go.
There you go.
Don Bluth's philosophy on that was that kids could handle just about anything you throw at them, as long as the ending was happy. As long as there's a happy ending, kids can handle it. Yep. Don't underestimate what kids can handle and find scary or not.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Well, I do have a question here from P.S. Melter for you. He wants to know, are there any humans in this world?
There are no humans in this world.
All right.
There are Greek gods, but they're more like characters than gods. Kind of like Thor in the Thor comic. He's a god, but he's a character within the story. We have Zeus.
Was that the character with the red shirt in the previews, or?
No, that's actually Hero's older brother Brock.
I see.
Yeah, the way we have the timeline set up is the offspring are born in the winter. In the spring, they come out and they become part of the world and they get named. And then whichever older sibling is there heads out into the world. And then a year later, that person is an adult or of age and is able to go out. So like book 1 starts with him coming out as a baby and his older brother is getting ready to go off into the world. And then we have a time jump in which he's grown up now and his 2 small twin sisters are there and he's going out into the world and they're just being introduced to the world. So he has, that's kind of how we kind of took that aspect from real animals, because they grow up very quickly. They kind of have to. Yeah. And there are some stories that we may go back and tell of when he's actually a little kid, but they're kind of like backup story ideas. So we have a playground that we can play with. So no humans. I forgot. No humans. That was the question. Sorry.
Yes, yeah. It was. So would that Thor figure be a horse?
No, actually, we do have plans for Norse gods, but we haven't gotten there yet. Right now, we're dealing with Greek gods. There are Greek gods in the story, but we do. There's a double page splash that I did in book 2 that has all these different animals, and they each represent the Greek gods. Like Zeus is an eagle, Ares is a bear, and so forth. And when I sent it to my editor to check out, and I mentioned that these are the 12 gods, he counted up all the animals and said, wait a minute, you got 13 there. And I said, I do, don't I? That means there's something else there. And we kind of got plans for more than just Greek gods in the story.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yep. Yeah, that's a lot it's interesting to have your cosmology set ahead of time, and it seems like you definitely do. But we have another person in here that has an Indiegogo going on at the same time, and that is Johnny Allen. Now, Johnny, what do you think of this project these guys got going on here?
Well, I'm just looking at this. I'm really intrigued, and I'm sorry to say it's the first time I've had a chance to really look at this. And so while you were talking, I was scrolling through the Indiegogo page too, and take a look at the art. I love the colors, especially in the background, that watercolor look that you have. In a lot of the different panels, you have a lot of diffused light coming in through the trees and stuff, which adds a wonderful dynamic to it. So great job on the coloring to kind of bring that to life. As far as the story, what I love hearing is, and this is what Todd and I were talking about the other night, is about the depth of the characters that you have, the backstories that you've created, this entire world, this fictional world, and all the different dimensions to it, and all the little nuances and little stories that you're setting up for future, tales that you can tell. That's one thing that tends to be missing in independent comics. It's like they didn't give much thought to where they want to take this story in the future. It sounds like you guys have mapped out quite a bit of it, and I love hearing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm going to have to sit down and kind of go through the whole page and look at all the art and everything. But from what I see, it looks pretty awesome. Looks fun. Another all ages book. I love seeing that. Something that the kids can pick up and the adults can love it too.
Well, I read a interview with Jeff Smith once, the guy that did Bone, and he said that he had planned out. He knew exactly how the story of Bone was going to end. He had actually drawn out the last page before he even started on the book. Well, I've already sat down and with Mike came up with the last 5 pages of Hero's story, and I've actually sat down and we worked out some of the details to it, and I shared them with my wife, and she's like, you're going to do that, and you're going to do that, and I said yes, and she said, how are you going to do it? I said, I don't know yet, but I know how it's going to end. I know exactly where it's going to end, and it's going to be building up the story in order to get there, and it's going to be a ride. I can't wait to get on and hang on and get there, and hopefully everybody else will enjoy it when they get to the end as well.
That's cool.
We have a couple questions here from the chat I'd like to get to. Now, R2D2 has a couple here, and R2D2 for life. I do apologize. You had mentioned other lands themes in other books, right? So I guess he's talking about you had said something about going to a land that had some equivalent of the Chinese queen, I guess is what he's referring to.
Yes, yes. We have a few already planned out because each of his siblings, like I said, have gone in different directions, have gone on different adventures. And actually by the end of book 2, you've only met 4 of them. His oldest brother Brock, his sister Hunter, and then the 2 twins. So there's several more that are out there in the world. And in book 3, he meets one of them whose name is Lulu. She's the oldest. And then we have plans for other different siblings to allow us to take Hero and put him in all different worlds, all different situations. Like we have one idea about it's either a brother or sister. I don't remember the actual details. Some of this stuff is so far ahead. Lives with the frost giants in what their version of like the Arctic is, and of course, frost giants would be polar bears.
Of course.
And then we have another one where he has twins, brother and sister, who are part of like the Roman Legion. And so we're going to be able to go in all different directions, and it's just a lot of fun. And I just so looking forward to telling these stories. But
well, awesome. R2D2 for life. Second question or comment, I would say, is that have you worked on your 1-minute pitch since John Malin's show?
Oh my God, I've tried so many times. I'm so bad at that. As you guys can probably tell, I rather blather on and on and on and on, and I lose track of where I'm at and go in different directions. Trust me, it drives Avery. It drives Avery absolutely crazy because he and I have gone on road trips together in which I start telling a story or I start talking, and he'll be sitting next to me and he'll fall asleep, and I'll just keep talking even though I know he's asleep, and I'll just keep going.
Hopefully he's not fighting.
I think you have an addiction.
Well, maybe. But actually, being able to speak at length about your project on a radio show is not a bad thing. But having a 1-minute pitch in your pocket is kind of essential. So, but it is a good comment, and I know that's why John pushes it over there on his channel. The other question we have here is from Dave. And Dave says, book 1 is completed. So if fully funded, can we expect quick turnaround, print distribution and such?
Yes. Right now we have the campaign going till I think it's supposed to end around the 23rd of December, but we're probably going to extend it into January. If it does get funded, the turnaround for printing the book will pretty much be within weeks. Because right now I'm doing the pre-press where I'm going through each and every page, correcting little things that are driving me nuts. Sometimes it's something I did, sometimes it's something Avery did. The majority of the time it's me. And the campaign is giving me the time to go through and actually fine-tooth comb page by page and make sure it's perfect. And but when it's done, we'll be ready to go.
All right, so what kind of turnaround are you looking at then?
I put on the campaign that the ship date would probably be in March, which they said, you want to give yourself at least 2 months, but definitely within that range. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all.
It depends on how long it takes to get the books back from the printer.
Right.
I don't think that'll be that big of a deal either. So
how long it takes to do the sketches, but he's working on the sketches as people place the orders.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing Avery's picking on me because we had done, when we did the black and white book, we did a Kickstarter for it. And one of the things I offered was everybody that gets a book gets an original sketch. And depending on what size sketch, I know, but I like doing that. I like sharing my art with people. And when I took the book to conventions, anybody who bought a copy of the book got a free sketch. And with this campaign, I'm offering the same exact thing. There's a sketch with every copy. And Avery says he's looking forward to me to have flamingo hand, where my hand is so tired and broken from doing so many sketches.
It looks like a flamingo's head.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, well, Avery sounds like a wonderful friend. So.
Yes. Oh, he is. He's very encouraging. Very encouraging.
If it's successful, I win on 2 fronts. 1, I get to be happy my friend succeeded, and 2, I get to mock his pain.
See, that's true. That's true. Well, seeing as you're talking about things that are right up the Lord of Lightning's thinking, why don't we? You have any questions for these guys, Thundaro?
Is pain's right up my thinking? Is that what you're saying?
So, dude. You like throwing pain around with your damn wrench. Go ahead, dude.
I actually have two questions. One is from the lady who was in here for a second, but she went to lay down, and she wanted to know, why do some of the animals wear clothes and some of the animals don't?
Ooh,
that's a really good question.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good question, and the reason is, I'd have no idea. Some of them want to wear clothes, some of them don't have. Well, the original page 2, which is where Hero's mom is opening up the curtains and waking up the baby and so forth. Or my original drawing of her, she wasn't wearing clothes, and then later in that chapter, she put a shawl on when she had when it was a year later, and it just bugged me. And I said, this is a character who I have a lot of affection for. She's a very strong character, and I think she needs to have clothes. So I went back and I redid it, added clothes onto her, and I think she looks like a much more mature character with clothes on. And then there are other characters like the wolves. The wolves don't wear clothes, and the snake doesn't wear clothes, of course, and Pudge doesn't wear clothes, and it's just, I don't know. Sometimes I do a character and I say this person needs clothes.
So it's just a stylistic choice, basically. Whatever you think fits the character better. Okay.
Exactly.
And my question was, I don't know if anybody had said this or if you'd mentioned it. If you did, I apologize. Is there any magic or mysticism at all in this world, or are they just anthropomorphic?
There is magic. There is mysticism. There's 2 instances in book 1 in which you actually get to see the bad guy, and he has a trio of witches that are sitting around a pot, and they're seeing things happening and reporting back to him what they see. And there is magic, there is stuff like that happens. And so I mean, we've got gods in the story. Zeus is an important character in the first book. So yeah,
it's a good choice with Zeus. Anyway.
Huh.
Actually, in one of the preview pages, you actually see Zeus. Actually, he's in the very last preview page. He's the eagle. You scroll down there, you can see him in.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come down to that. And while I'm doing that, Denali, why don't you go ahead and ask your questions? I'm sure you have.
No question at the moment.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the art, just formulating. So I'll hold my questions for now.
Okay. All right. How about you, Todd?
Yeah, I want to know, like, is there anything other than the book that you have planned as far as reaching your audience? And I'm not talking about the tiers or giveaways. I'm just wondering if there's any marketing plans or anything like that you're going to do. Maybe an action figure or some kind of PVC piece or that kind of thing.
One of the things that Avery told me when just to tell you this funny part, when I actually asked him just to color the cover for me, and he asked me, says, okay, what color pattern is for your characters? And I'm like, I don't know. They're animal colors. I had no idea. I never thought that way. He's the one that chose to color Pudge blue, and he looks fantastic as a bluebird. And when he and I were talking about it, he said, I'm coloring these characters in a way that if you decided to make plushies of them, the color patterns would work well for stuff like that. So it's stuff we've talked about, but it's not stuff that we've actually gotten that far into yet. I would love to look into that kind of stuff, but right now, one of the reasons why I tell people is I went from book 1 right into book 2. We never even sold a single copy of book 1, and I was already knee deep in book 2. Is the fact that I get stuck in creator mode, and I don't know marketing mode. I don't know promoting mode. I just do creator mode, and I keep going and going and going, and it's one of those things that if there's people out there that might be willing to help with some of those things, I'd be more than willing to jump into that. But right now I'm still stuck in creator mode.
I see. Well, it's unfortunate we don't have Tank Ferret here today because he is involved in merchandising, and he would probably be someone you should talk to. Tank Ferret, you can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Twitter as well, and we could try to get you in touch with him. He knows quite a bit about those things. Now, from my point of view, I've been sitting here and listening to everything. I think it's very interesting. You have Harry Potter references. You have Star Wars references. You even just mentioned the Moirai, which I thought was interesting. Now, I'm assuming you're taking the Moirai from Shakespeare. The Fates.
You lost me there.
The three,
oh yes,
the three
yes,
ladies, yeah.
yes. Even though they're not blind and they don't have an eye, but they're actually named after the three Greek characters. So there's a little bit of reference in there, but it's possible they may end up being blind at some point. But in the story, they're not.
You actually named them Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos?
Yes.
Wow, cool. That's very cool, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's what their names are. My editor actually helped me with that one, so I have to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, I thought that it's just a cool little historical reference there. But it seems like you're referencing a lot of things, which is really cool. Now, I had said earlier to you that I had, when we went through this before, we had only found one problem. That we, like I said, we try to help by giving information and stuff. And the only thing we really came to, was really a minor thing, was why did you call the character Hero? It's such a generic name.
It is. It is. Well, it's part of one of the main subplots of the story. When he was born in the first chapter, it is prophesied by a character by the name of Granny Aura, who that's of course short for Oracle. She looks into him. She's blind, and she looks at him, and she says, "He's going to become the greatest hero our world has ever known." And his mom says, "Well, that's it. His name is Hero."
Okay.
And kind of one of the themes is that he's very small, he's skinny, he doesn't look anything like you'd think a hero would look like. I mean, the guy in the red shirt is his older brother Brock. He looks more like a heroic character just in his physical attributes. But the point is, being a hero has nothing to do with what you look like. It's about your actions and your intentions and so forth. It has nothing to do with, what you look like. And that's kind of one of the themes throughout the book. A lot of people that are introduced to him, they look at him and like, you don't really look like a hero, and it has nothing to do with what you look like. And one of my friends who did a review of the book for me at one point said that, he's going on adventures to find the true meaning of being a hero, and we embrace that completely and said that is perfect. That is exactly what we want one of the things to be, is that he's going out to find out what being a hero is really all about.
Okay.
And there's a twist in the story, but you sound like you want to ask another question. So
I do. But no, I get it. And seeing as this is for kids, it makes sense. It was just like I said, it was the only thing we had any questions about, which is a good thing. It means your page is well set up and is very interesting, and it caught our attention. So awesome. Good job, dude. The only other point that I would make to you is this: when did you launch this project?
Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, so here's the problem. You've never done Indiegogo or Kickstarter or anything before.
We did do a Kickstarter before, and we were okay with that one, but our goal was very small, and I really just wanted to print copies of the book. So with this, we kind of thought it was more important to get it started and get it out there than it was to try to put it out at a certain time.
Oh, I see.
Because we were going to have to drive people to it anyway.
Well, you're anticipating my point then. I get that you wanted to have this up for Christmas, and I get that. That's cool. It's not a bad idea. It's a good gift for a kid. Certainly, put it on a tree, put it in the stocking. It's of course we won't be able to get it by then, but I get the concept. But if you had it in the summer, then you would have been able to actually have it under the tree. But the problem is, never, ever, ever run a crowdfunder in December or January. It's just everyone is spent out. There's a lot of big projects that come out. Their money's gone. It is the death zone, man. Unfortunately. So my suggestion would be for the future, when you launch other books, like and continue in the line, don't get anywhere near this time period, dude. Do it in like spring, early summer. It's just really, really hurts you. And it's not just comic books; it's board games, it's everything. It's just this is a bad, bad time of year to try to run a crowdfunder. Everyone's money is spent. They're saving the money for Christmas. It's an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. And I think your project probably would be, I think, would be doing better if it's just for it's in the wrong season.
Yeah, I think I remember somebody was saying on one of the other YouTube channels that they didn't have anybody that was launching anything during this time, and they were like, I wonder what would happen. And well, you know, we're gonna see. We're gonna find out what would happen. So
Yeah.
I may end up being a cautionary tale for people. So
Yeah,
and that's okay.
No, well,
Right there with you, just to let you know. So we may
Yeah.
be in the same boat. So
No.
I understand. But you know what? You have your Star Wars reference in there. You could do your Christmas thing. You could do the empty box thing. So you could just say, here, buy the book, and then you could print out a page and have them put that under the tree. And your book's coming in a couple months. It worked for Kenner. It may work for you.
You know, to be actually honest, to be honest with you, I'd be willing to run something where I said, okay, if this project gets funded, and we can do it sooner rather than later, I'd be willing to send you the sketch ahead of time before the book. Oh, hush!
I love that. I love that Star Wars reference.
That might be an option. So
that might be a good idea. At least to give them something that, you know, again, they've got the sketch, now they get something to look forward to. That's your possible marketing move there. Good job. Good thought.
Yep.
Who are you telling to hush?
What was that?
I thought Avery was speaking up.
No, that wasn't me, dude.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's Johnny. That's Johnny Allen. He's got a project right now too. We definitely promote this project. It looks wonderful. Look at it. I mean, the art is great. It's a good story. It is for kids, but that's a good thing. We want to see more kids big books in the community and in general. This one of the things that we've been talking about is comic books are not catering to the children anymore. And what are you doing? You're talking about building your generations for the future, right? You need to pay attention to kids. So this is wonderful. It's well done. It's well colored. And we really like the project, and we've been supporting it. And we hope everybody over here will go check it out and support it. And I'm not being negative toward you, dude. I'm just saying it is what it is. This is not a good time of year to do this kind of thing, unfortunately. But I love the project. We love the project, and we hope everyone will go over there and support you.
I appreciate it. I do.
The art style is very classic and I like it a lot, actually. It reminds me of, you know, when I was a kid, some of the cartoons and things you would see, it would translate really well to a cartoon. It's very well done. I like it a lot.
Yeah, you know, this is Johnny again. It's got a Jim Henson vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of shots, especially where you got the, you know, what is the one with the sage guy there with the staff. I mean, it screams Jim Henson. That whole shot right there, and that feeling that evokes these wonderful feelings of childhood, because Jim Henson was brilliant.
Yeah,
and what he brought, and you know, it's got kind of a dark crystal feel to it as well. So you know, like I say, you know, and I'm going to be right there with Chester. I mean, this is great to see another book that's you know, targeted to kids, but also it looks like that adults will enjoy it as well. It's awesome.
Yeah. We do have a couple comments over here. Our R2D2 for Life says, love the idea, but I am worried about doing sketches and being rushed to get them out in 2 weeks. Yeah, he's just worried about you having to do all those sketches. And Uncanny Kodiak says, my wife is complaining about the same thing. No kids comics. Yeah, it's a very, very odd thing from my point of view. I don't know why in the world these companies would not be pumping out kids books. I mean, because it's about investing in the future, right? But you know, I have to say though, for me, this right here is my favorite picture that you have here. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about that character if you can.
That is a character who we've named Hawkeye. When I started working on Hero, I turned down some commissions. I turned down some paying work because I told myself the only way I was going to be able to complete this project is if I gave it my full attention. And it took 2 years to finish the first book. It only took a year to finish the second book. But during that 2 years, one of my friends contacted me and said, hey, would you do me a commission as a gift for somebody or whatever? And I said, I really don't. I can't do it. And he said, I just want a sketch of Hawkeye. And I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do you the sketch of Hawkeye. But then I've also got to do a sketch of what my version of Hawkeye would be in the hero world. And I turned this ferret into a bow and arrow slinging character, and I loved him. I just loved his design, and I said, he's got to be in the book. He's got to be in the story. So we put him in. He's in the story. It turns out he's an old friend of Hero's dad. They run into him on their adventures, and he tells them this wild story about how he slayed this giant gecko lizard. And when you actually first see him, there's a preview panel where he's holding up the arrow with the gecko on it. You can see that he's very much a teller of tall tales. And yeah, that's it right there. This is where they run into him, and he tells the story about fighting and beating this gecko. And the seed was planted for this character. We enjoyed him so much that there was a extra scene that we added into the middle of the book in order to bring him back and be able to show off him some more. And I liked him so much that he's actually, the third book starts with a flashback chapter to where Hero's mom and dad first meet, and he was in there. He became a character that was introduced there, just because I just love the way he looks. If I could go back in time and redraw Hero as a ferret, I would have done that, just because I love drawing him so much. So there's a good. He's going to be appearing again later on. We've already got an idea for how to bring him back, but his name is Hawkeye, and that's it. That's him.
Cool. Yeah, I like him, and he is cool looking for sure.
Thank you.
We have a question over here. I'm not sure exactly what this means, but I'm sure the artist in you would be able to understand it. Are there pages where the layout is more than just vertically separated panels? I don't know what that means, but
well, I used a specific template when I set up the pages, and it is 3 vertical panels, not vertical, horizontal panels. And so I fit the majority of the story within that template. There are pages where it's full page splash. There's pages where it's 2/3 splash and so forth. But the majority of pages do fit within that template. It made it easier for me as an artist to keep the panels within a certain template. I know I'm repeating my words because I can't think of something else, but the point is that I treated it. There was a point in the first book where I started treating it like animation, where the backgrounds were done separately from the characters, and to keep it within those boundaries of those panel sizes made it easier for me in the long run.
I think it looks good. I like it. I like little stuff like this too, where you have you can see right here you have the 3 panels, but this character, which Johnny was talking about, which looks very Henson-esque, his top of his head and his staff is bleeding or overlapping into the panel above. I love when those kind of people do those kind of things. It's very cool. It makes it very dynamic.
Oh, well, then you'll really like this book because I do that a lot. I like to break the panel borders. I do it all the time.
Yeah, like right here.
I don't know why. I just like to.
I think it's cool, dude. I like it. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's come up here and let's take a look at our perks. We've talked about the book. We talked about what the idea is and all those kind of important points. But now let's look at what it costs. So you got it featured here, which is awesome. You should absolutely have that. And this right here is simply for the book itself, a physical copy, I'm assuming, and a 6x9 hero character sketch. Now, this is you literally are doing a sketch for everyone who gets this.
Yep, absolutely. Well, somebody had mentioned earlier that that's going to be a lot of drawing. Well, on my YouTube channel, I do drawing all the time, and I've actually done some of these. I've already started doing some of these sketches. I've been working on some of the 9x12s already that I made available as special perks here, but I've got a couple put aside that if somebody wants them, they can be part of their perk rewards. But I don't have a problem doing a whole bunch of sketches. Avery's joking, like, what if we get 1,000 backers? And I said, well, then I'll do 1,000 sketches, and I'm looking forward to it. It gives me content for my YouTube channel as well. So,
you're an absolute madman, but I wish you luck.
Sure. Well,
how many head sketches did Ethan have to do? Anybody know that number offhand? Denali? No.
Too many.
A lot.
Too many.
Yeah. But that's cool, dude. But it's it's good price, $20 plus shipping. And you get yourself the book, which is full color, and you get a hero character sketch, which is pretty awesome. That's your feature one. That's very nice. Now we have some other ones here that have sketches and various things like that. But are any of these have something other than just larger sketches, some interesting perk like T-shirts? Or I know you had mentioned you thought about doing plushies and stuff, but you hadn't.
We have perks that include original pieces of art from the book.
Oh, nice.
But nothing beyond that. Like what you're looking at right there is actual panels from the book.
Oh,
that one right there is the bad guy. This is one of the better sketches of him.
And you're giving away original art. Okay.
Well, I'm not giving it away. They're gonna have to pay for it, but
yeah, for that price, you're a madman. Madman.
Now, one of the things I did is, as I worked on the book, like I said, the backgrounds and the foregrounds were separate. A lot of times what I would do is I would take a 9x12 piece of Bristol board and cut it in half, so they were 9x6s. I also did that with 11x14 to make them 5.5 by or 7x11. And so I have stacks and stacks and stacks of sketches of illustrations that were actually used in the 3 books. So I've got plenty of art to share. So I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, that's cool. I'm just saying that giving away for such a low price could come back and bite you. Well, it's not going to bite you, but it could be a missed opportunity, I guess, is what people are saying. I've
been told by my friends multiple times that I lowball my art all the time, and I don't know.
It's good art, dude.
Well, there's a part of me that says that if you buy something from me as an original piece of art, and I sold it to you for $20, and you show it to somebody and say, "Here, check this out," and they go, "Oh wow, that's amazing," and then you say, "Yeah, and I bought it for $20. It's even better." But oh well.
Okay,
I know.
I see. Yeah, you're as you had mentioned earlier, you're not the salesman, you're the artist. I get it.
My capitalist heart is bleeding right now.
Dude,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're asking, are you gonna do trading cards in the near future, or would you have that as a stretch goal? Because I know right now you have a fixed goal of 6,000, so if you don't meet it, that's a moot point. But should you get to 6,000 goal in mind?
We do have several stretch goals already in mind. One of the things I do, especially when I go to conventions, is print out on really nice cover stock paper. It's more of a vellum type paper. Some of the splash pages in order to make like prints, but they're perfect for giving to a kid to color. So there'll be a stretch goal in which you'll get a set of prints that you can either frame and put up on your wall, or you can give as coloring pages. We also are working on a story that is specifically made to be a coloring book. So that may be an addition thing that happens if we reach our goal and can make some stretch goals. But I do have one stretch goal in mind. I've mentioned it a few times. We're going to do a Doug TenNapel. If we can reach a certain amount, we're going to upgrade all the books to hardcover.
Oh, I thought you were going to not wash your hands. Okay.
Yeah, that's what most people think right away. Avery picks on me all the time when I say I'm going to do a Doug TenNapel. He's like, "That's gross, dude. Don't shake anybody's hands." No, we're going to upgrade to a hardcover, but that's still a little ways away. But it's something that I think would be perfect for it. So
I do prefer hardcovers over perfect bound. I know that they say that it's not good for the appraising or long time value or something like that, but I love having a hardcover graphic novel in my hand. It is awesome. Anyway, guys, we are come to the end of this interview, and I want to thank Andrew and Avery very much for being here. This is a very nice looking book. Very excited about what's going on, and we wish you all the luck and hope you are successful in this project. Just keep in mind that with your other project stuff, don't give up on it. Keep pushing it. Come back at a better time of year, maybe. Certainly with the second one, please do that. Yeah, this is a good looking project. It's for kids, which is something we need more of. I encourage everybody over in the chat to go check this out and support this if you can. I see that R2D2 for Life is definitely talking about getting the book, so you have interest going on in the chat, which is awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for coming, guys.
Thank
Now, go ahead, Avery. We haven't heard very much from you, so why don't you give us a little bit of a closing statement from your point of view on the book, sir?
I always pitch it as if you love the animated Hobbit movie and like Secret and M, this is for you. Because I grew up with those. I like them. And this is kind of in that same vein.
All right. Sweet. Andrew, last comments?
Just thank you guys for having us on and letting me ramble and talk because I could go for another hour if you wanted me to. But I appreciate everybody at least checking it out. And I think one of the hardest things with stuff like this is getting it in front of people, getting people to actually see it. And you guys are helping us with that, and that's fantastic. I truly appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. You need to get out there. You need to get on as many channels as you can. You need to do the legwork, and I just keep doing what you're doing. You're on John. You're on here. You've been doing a lot of stuff. Keep doing it. So it's really good, and it also gets people knowing you. Now, do either one of you guys have a drawing channel or a YouTube channel or some kind of community base?
Yes, we both have channels. Mine is Misfit Corner Comics. Mm-hmm. When we started at the beginning of this year, and my goal was to do at least one video a day, and for a long time I did several because I did comic reviews, movie reviews. My son and I are big Lego fans, so we would do Lego builds and so forth. But the majority of videos that I'm doing now is pretty much drawing heroes. So if you guys want to come over and see me actually do some of the drawings, and we also live stream Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 7:30 Eastern time. And you guys can come by and check it out as well. We usually draw and talk comics. And
the name of that channel, please?
Misfit Corner Comics.
Misfit Corner Comics. If one of my wonderful wrenches would go over there and grab that and drop that link, please. But it looks like maybe it already is dropped. Yeah, they're ahead of me. Awesome dudes. So yeah, thank you guys very much. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transition into the comics news today. Of course, seeing as we're at the top of the hour, everybody, thank you all for coming. We do appreciate those likes and those subscribe buttons. It's very much appreciated. We're growing every day, and it's wonderful. Also, we'll remind you of all the links down below where you can contact us and get involved with what we're doing. And I also would ask you to please hit that share button and let all your friends and family know what we're doing so they can come over and join us. Now, Andrew and Avery, we're going to move on to the news right now, but you're more than welcome to stay and interact because the very, very first thing we're going to do, and let me go ahead and switch this over. Actually, I don't think I have to. I think I have it set up perfect. I do. First thing we're going to do, guys, we're going to get right into the news, and we are going to watch the new Avengers trailer. Is everybody ready?
Before you do that, I just wanted to let you know both Avery and I are probably going to have to drop because we both have to work in the morning.
That's fine.
But I really, really do appreciate you guys having us on, and thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, man, good luck with the campaign and the book, guys. It looks great.
Appreciate it, Johnny. Thanks a lot.
You bet.
All right. Later, guys.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to watch this new Avengers trailer. Now the people watching will be able to hear it just fine. You guys, if you want to hear it, you'll have to listen through the other chat, which would be kind of difficult here in the panel with me. I do apologize, but that is the way that Streamlabs works. So here we go.
Remember to pause it sometimes
I
when
will.
it strikes.
This thing on? Hey, Miss Potts.
Tony being scared.
If you find this recording, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. Just For the record, being adrift in space with zero promise of rescue is more fun than it sounds. Food and water ran out.
My hair still
4
looks
days
good,
ago.
but I'm dying.
Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning. That'll be it.
Well, now it's let me
When I
get
drift
like
off, I will dream about you. It's always you.
Now I have to say that is a great opening to a trailer. It's very moving, very touching, very Tony. Yeah, I like.
At least 100% better than the Captain Marvel trailer. Just the beginning it's fantastic.
It's already more profound, yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful. You guys over in the chat, you can give comments on it, please, if you'd like. But yeah, what a great start to that trailer. You know, just sitting there with Tony and he's dying. Now, help me remind me, was Tony in a ship at the end of the last one? I thought he was on the ground fighting Thanos.
That looks like.
Yeah, it looks like the Guardians came in where Star-Lord, his ship. What was that? The Benatar. I think they called that ship.
No, not the Benatar, the Milano.
Yeah, but everyone died but Rocket, though, didn't they?
Benatar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? Say that again?
Yeah.
The Milano was in the first movie. I think this was the new ship in the Infinity War movie. I think they called that the Benatar.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
I think there was one problem with that movie is the ending was so, whether good or bad, was so memorable. People forget a lot about the rest of the movie of Infinity War.
Yeah, but Tony was on the ground fighting, right?
Yeah, right. But
there were ships there.
But remember, when he crash land, they blew in. Where did they came from? They came from their own ship.
Yeah.
So somehow he gets up in space and he's in a ship that is dead in space and about to run out of air. Okay.
Yeah, you see, there's an error. There's just that one scene, just real quick, where I think Star-Lord is saying, "What happened to this planet? The gravity's off, 8 degrees off axis or something." And you can see their ship in the background. So they got there to the planet, to Titan, in their ship, and I think that's what he's in, is in that Benatar ship.
Yeah, but was Tony? Now I know he was on Titan, or it was not Titan. They call it something else, I think, or did they call it Titan?
Yes, they call it Titan.
It might be explained in the trailer. We should watch it.
No, it doesn't. Won't. Yeah, I've already watched it. Now, what I was asking was, did Tony make it back to Earth in the last fight with Thanos?
No, he was stuck on Titan.
Okay,
that's why he's on this ship, trying to get back on Earth.
Thank you, Denali. Thank you very much. You're very angry for some reason. All right, moving on.
I'm always angry.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
We lost. All of us. We lost friends. We lost family. We lost a part of ourselves.
And we got room.
This is the fight of our lives.
Now that's interesting. We see Hawkeye, but he's using a blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his Rowan. Yeah.
I wish they wouldn't have fully revealed him in the trailer, though, because obviously you can already tell what happened. His whole family's dead. Like, he's gone completely rogue. It's just they should have just left him out of it. They didn't need to reveal him there.
What do you guys think of Scarlett Johansson blonde?
No thanks.
No, thank you. Yeah, she does a lot of commercials here in Japan for hair, like a shampoo commercials. I see her all the time. She's on the TV all the time, and she got this long hair. You know, those are my hair is so bouncy type of commercials. And she's blonde in those commercials. I do not know why this Akhenazi Jew decided to go blonde. I don't get it.
Probably contractual. Probably because of those shampoo. They probably said you need to dye it blonde for these commercials, and she's obligated to keep it blonde.
Yeah, but because of her face, her racial background, it doesn't work on her head at all, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. And they keep it in the Avengers. They could have dyed it for the Avengers and then dyed it back or something. But yeah, I don't know why she's gone this route. And I see this over in Japan a lot. This is something you guys won't get, but the Japanese are always trying to. You have the celebrities always trying to dye the hair blonde. Of course, the kids will try to follow it. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna have a blonde hair, you need to have a thin face. It doesn't work on fat, round faces. It doesn't. It's horrible, man.
What did this turn into?
Wow. Yeah. Ouch.
A lot of misogyny coming out of you right now.
Man or woman, I don't care what you are. If you got a round, fat face, don't dye your hair blonde. God.
Although the way she scowls is so unattractive. It's like, oh, goodness,
but see, the thing is, I mean, I never. She was called the most beautiful woman in the world for a while. I never thought she was that pretty, but I like her. I like Scarlett Johansson. I don't think she's the greatest. She can't carry a movie by herself, but she's a great supporting actress. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's a pretty good character actor.
Yeah. And this, no, baby, don't do this. Stop this. Okay.
It's gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at the airport.
Let me just
Germany.
Oh, hi, Scott.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
There you go.
All right.
Done.
Well.
Well.
What do we think? What do we think?
Well.
I think it looks pretty good. I noticed there's an awful lack of Thanos in that trailer.
Well, we saw a hand. We saw a Thanos hand. We saw his armor set up on the Scarecrow.
I just don't know who decided on that name. It's just
Endgame. Yeah.
It's just a bad name. Like it's not original. It's not catchy. It sounds like a early 2000s video game name. Like, I don't know.
Well, they're doing it as the Russo, and they mentioned it in the interview when they were doing Infinity War junkets that they said we chose the name after we were filming the Infinity Wars because it fit. So when Doctor Strange said we're in the end game, I guess they considered it tie it into this movie. This is the end game. What's good about this film, it kind of tells us where everybody is at so far. The key to this whole unraveling of Thanos and, getting back things normal, basically, is going to be Scott Lang with the Quantum Realm. And guess what's in the van? For those who watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's the Quantum Realm Prim particle accelerator that allowed him to shrink into the Quantum Realm. So he has that in the back of his van right there.
Spoilers, Denali.
Here's one other problem I have with it is he shows up there at the end like everybody's supposed to know he's not supposed to be around. They didn't establish that really in the trailer at all. True. So if you didn't see that other movie, which most people didn't,
it did because
all it shows is a picture of him though. That's not enough.
Yes.
That's not enough. They should have mentioned his name. They should have mentioned him by name or had like a thing of these are the dead people. Like it was just implied. It was implied too lightly. It just came off as like they were just trying to do a corny joke instead of a powerful, hey, he's alive moment.
Interesting.
Right.
What do you think about this, Johnny? Do you like these Marvel movies?
I do. I geek out with my son on these things. I was really disappointed with the Captain Marvel one because that one just looks bland. That woman has one emotion on her face the entire time.
Oh,
so there's nothing that really drives me to want to see that film. But this one, when we saw this trailer this morning, this was really good. I mean, my wife watched it with us, and she didn't want to keep watching that first scene, that opening there with Tony. It was very
wonderful,
very sad, very somber, and she's like, "Man, that just was choking me up seeing that."
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do without him. If he does actually leave, Robert Downey Jr. has made this whole thing.
Yep.
And if he goes, it's going to fall apart. My prediction.
Johnny, I don't know if you're aware of this, but did you know that I am the Brie Larson whisperer?
I did not know that.
As well.
And
Yes,
what that means. What does that mean?
That means that I am capable of understanding all the depth of her emotion. Most people only see a single face that never changes, but me, no. I can feel. I'm in tune with the Brie.
It's incredible.
Oh, dude, you got to play interpreter for me then when we watch the trailer again. We got to watch it together so you can explain everything because I'm lost. I'm sorry. I see somebody who has a lot of trouble emoting.
No, those Captain Marvel trailers are horrible, and it's really too bad, man. Because that's one of the things that irks me so much about what's been going on, dude. Miss Marvel was one of my favorite female comic book heroes from all of them. Not Wonder Woman, not Canary, not all those other ones. Miss Marvel. I always loved that character, and so I would be happy to see a movie from her, but this is being based upon the nonsense that's been going on. Marvel has absolutely ruined this character, and it just frustrates me, man.
Well, you can see that with the where she had to correct Fury on that, we're warrior heroes. And I served in the military and I knew true heroes, and they never called themselves heroes ever. Nobody ever said that. And the military, the police, the firefighters, they never call themselves heroes. That's their job. It's what they do. And then how they got to play that out where they do the her and then it blends into hero. And I'm like, oh no, please tell me they're not going this route.
They are. Yeah, they
are. Because they've done so well separating that out. So you've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they've kept most of that nonsense out of it.
They have.
And you can tell, like in a lot of the scenes that they cut and end up on the cutting room floor, oh, there was this great, girl on girl scene, but that's on the cutting room floor. Well, good, because unfortunately, it's not going to resonate with a lot of people, especially families. So if they start bringing this stuff in, I think it's really going to kill them. It's kind of the feeling I'm getting from trailer and why I'm just not jazzed about running out to see that thing. I just I don't know.
That aspect kills me as well because anybody who's read Miss Marvel knows right well one of the greatest stories and aspects to her was the love story with her and Marvel, right?
Right.
I mean, that's and I never understood with all this rebooting and stuff. Why didn't they go back and tighten that up? She has a love story with him. He dies. He's tragic. She gets his powers. Why didn't they tighten that up? Because they did a lot of weird stuff with Miss Marvel, to be fair. But
because that would imply that she needed a man to get her powers, and that wouldn't make her a hero, Chester.
That was a great storyline with the death of Captain Marvel, dude.
But even what they did in the cartoon, The Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and when they had Ms. Marvel in there, they did a great job. They left that whole love story out with her in Marvel, but they still did a good job of showing her as a strong female, a beautiful female that could also interact with other people.
Yep,
had a lot of character, a lot of depth to her. She was fun, playful, and strong at the same time. So they still did a good job with the character in that. But now, from what I can tell, I haven't read the comic series at all, but from what I can tell, it's they're not doing any justice to it whatsoever.
Train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't they rebooted it a bunch of times in the last few years too? Because it just
fails.
keeps failing.
Keep bringing it back. Yeah, because they're desperate to make it the icon, the face of Marvel. They're desperate to make her that.
And the worst part about it is she probably could be if they would just write her properly.
Yeah.
They refuse. They just refuse to do it. I don't understand why they're so adverse to making money.
Me either, dude, because she's cool, she's powerful, she's clever. She's cool. She's, like I said, one of my favorite female superheroes. She's awesome. I love Miss Marvel, man. And it's like, why? What are you doing? You're so stupid. And of course, the thing, I was talking with this with Johnny just the other day. The thing is, they don't do their research. These people are not. They didn't even read her books. It's obvious. Right. I went and read these new things, and it's hard slog getting through it. It's hard, not because of all the progressive politics that's in it, because they're poorly written, and the art is absolutely shat, right? And the thing, the thing that kills me is just go read the old books, and it's obvious they haven't. They have done zero research. They just have this, oh, she is a feminist. Yeah, she was a true feminist, meaning in the actual good meaning of the word, meaning women empower yourself, make yourself smarter, be better. But no, they
Yeah.
don't understand what a feminist is, right?
The phase one of feminism is basically what that was. So the first phase of, you know, and that's there's something endearing and beautiful about that. But unfortunately, you get moving on into later the second, and then where we're at now with the garbage that's out there now, that unfortunately they twist and distort all these great characters. I just said my son tried to watch, what was that, Marvel Rising or something today, and he couldn't do it. And what they did to Squirrel Girl, my goodness, she used to be cute. What happened?
Yeah, we talked about that weeks ago. So yeah, we would have warned you if we were
in all honesty.
Sooner. Yeah,
I was going back to the Avengers here.
He's got the Marvel encyclopedia. He went back to look up what Squirrel Girl used to look like, and he's like, yeah, she was drawn really different. I mean, he's 12 years old, so he doesn't want to acknowledge that girls are cute and pretty and stuff like that. But you know, like, yeah, she was drawn much better back then. I don't like how they did it now. I'm like, yeah.
Squirrel Girl is another example. Now, she has never been written with any kind of depth, but unlike Miss Marvel. But Squirrel Girl was always this very cute little, interesting, weird foible in the Marvel universe, right? I mean, is what she is. Very cute little thing. But no, now she's this dumpy. I mean, sorry, but she looks like she has Down syndromes, and she's loving the science. It's outrageous. You would think it's almost as if it were a joke, but it's not.
So we end up watching the Avengers for a trailer just to talk about Miss Marvel.
Well, because it's an awesome trailer, that's why there's nothing to say about it. Yay!
But here's the thing: is people are not realizing is that who's coming first to lead up to the Avenger Force, Miss Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I'm not 100% sold unless they've said that they're going to try and make her just a bona fide full-on leader in the movies. Because it looked to me like in Spider-Man Homecoming, they were setting up Spider-Man to take over for Tony Stark. So I don't know. I know he's not technically the leader, but in the movies, he pretty much is.
Well, he shouldn't be. It should be Cap, but
Yeah, but I mean, he does everything, and Cap just kind of leads the strategy and stuff like that for fighting. But anyway, I don't know if that's the plan or not, and I hope it's not, because I think Tom Holland actually can carry Spider-Man for a while. He's pretty good,
and he's very enthusiastic too.
Yeah, and he just seems like a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I know I kind of crapped on the trailer a little bit, at least pieces of it, but that first 45 seconds or whatever it is of just Tony, you could have done that whole thing as the trailer. You could have just extended that out and it would have been great.
Yeah.
That is fantastic acting. It's beautifully shot. It's just great cinematography all the way around.
It is. Well, I think maybe we should actually talk about another story, because we've spent 20 minutes on that. So let's see what else we have, guys. Now, this one here actually is very funny, I think. Now, of course, we've all seen this, and we just want to touch on it. But go ahead, Danelli.
Why Kevin Hart's Oscar host implosion was self-inflicted and avoidable, and what does the Academy do now? No, he wasn't going to apologize because that was a different time, and no, he did the right thing by saying, I don't want the job if you're going to force me to apologize. And no, now you got to find a new host. And I was the last minute host that you got for this show that nobody wants.
Yeah. And I'd never really know much about him or been a huge fan of his, but clap, sir. Thank you, sir. How long have many people, how many years have many people been saying, stop apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong. Stop it. Don't apologize for things you didn't do wrong. And that's why they keep feeding the fuel. They keep fueling this fire with their apologies. Don't apologize. You did nothing wrong. And thank you very much, Mr. Hart.
He actually put out a fantastic video about how he has actually brought up his old tweets 100 times. Like, this gets brought up all the time, that things he said in 2008 isn't reflective of what he of Kevin Hart would say in 2018, you know, and things weren't so politically maddening back in 2008. You know, you could say things and get away with it back then. You know what was the big offensive thing he said?
Yeah,
what
he said something was gay or something.
He said that something about if he ever found his son playing with a dollhouse, he'd smash his son's head over the head with the dollhouse. Yeah. Clearly a joke, but obviously people came along and was like, well, why can't a boy play with a dollhouse? Because you don't want your son to get brutalized in school. That's why.
You kind of want to have grandchildren as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing, though, the ridiculous hypocrisy of it, too, because Kevin Hart he's an entertainer. For some reason, entertainers are held to just this ridiculous standard that if they say something back 10 years ago, like this was, now all of a sudden they have to be held accountable for it now. However, when politicians say very similar things about things like gay marriage or whatever, that's fine. Well, they changed their opinion now, so it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sure.
What?
Yeah. And we got to add that little caveat that there are certain topics that still taboo regardless.
Like what, Denali? Tell me, what is taboo, Denali?
Like, you know,
don't do it.
Going, you know, wearing a priest suit and going to certain parties, you know, and, you know, certain things like that.
James Gunn did that. I saw the pictures.
So that's still taboo for obvious reason, and especially when you're working for the mouse whose self-image is family friendly.
Yep.
So.
Yep, it's unfortunate what happened to Guardians of the Galaxy, but yep,
yeah.
Joe Gunai.
Which, yeah, so it goes with the other point, which is context.
Let's see. We want to do some more. Do we want to cover this one? What do you think?
I mean,
Dark Phoenix, Kevin Feige reviews film script tone.
Yeah, I mean, basically he looked into it, and he just wanted to make sure it's like nothing that they do it's gonna hurt the brand, and that's basically it. And they just moved forward.
Well, this is a bit of a problem, I think. Actually, I think it's deeper than that, dude. This movie is in the can. It's in the can.
Yes.
And yet he's reviewing the script. What? It's in the can. It's done, paid for. Film.
Yeah, it's Disney. They could withhold it. They don't have to release it.
They probably should.
They probably should. Yeah, I think so. It sounds like a train wreck. Yeah. Which is too bad. A lot of people really hated on the Apocalypse one, and it wasn't the best for sure, but it was all right. I mean, it was a popular movie.
With Apocalypse, you just didn't feel like Apocalypse throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with that actor, though. That actor. Yeah. I don't care for him. Is there something? Yeah, Poe Dameron. I don't care for this guy. Is there some acting that he's done that I could watch to show me this dude's got chops?
Probably not.
Well, I don't know.
I think there was the Coen Brothers where he played a musician. Adam Driver's in that film as well.
Well, they keep hiring these guys that come from like indie trash movies that. Yeah, they're artistic and they're great and they're Oscar bait or whatever, but they don't sell. And when you go into these superhero movies, these huge budget movies, you need somebody with star power. Now, maybe they didn't know if he didn't have it or not or whatever. I don't know, but you can't compare somebody like Robert Downey Jr. or somebody like even Benedict Cumberbatch has more star power than a lot of these guys.
Yeah, he's a much better actor too.
Right?
Oh yeah, he's a great actor. The people like him they're just like vacuums of boring. Like they just suck it in and ugh.
What do you think of this girl as Jean Grey, by the way? The Game of Thrones girl.
Sophie Turner?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. When I first heard it announced, I was like, oh yeah, that could work. Because she's not a bad little actress, actually. She could do the job. But then I saw her in the role and I was like, nope. Why? Help me out, Johnny. What is it about her that is screaming not Jean Grey?
Well, I don't think the young man that they cast as Scott, I don't think they had any chemistry at all. The two of them together.
That's true.
And then You know, there's something about her that's not, you know, yeah, like what's her name, Famke Janssen or whatever. I mean, she, you know, she had a good screen presence about her. I didn't think she was right for that role either, but she had a better presence than this gal. I think she just, I don't, you know, I always, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I probably should have done my homework on this particular story, so I could have answered that a little bit more. But
Well,
I wasn't thrilled with Age of Apocalypse for the very reasons you guys were talking about. One, Apocalypse was not Apocalypse. He was not imposing. He was not scary. He was not, you know, the evil despot that he always is.
No, he needed to be Shakespearean, man.
Yeah.
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 So, you know, that just unfortunately, it's kind of like Jennifer Lawrence. I don't think she's good as, you know, she's fine as Mystique as an actress, but she doesn't have anywhere near the look that Rebecca Romijn had.
Oh, she was awesome. Yeah, I loved her as Mystique.
She was very beautiful, but she had a sinister look to her. So you knew that she was dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, you know, with the look thing as well on between those two actresses, you know, other than the fact that she, yeah, I don't want to get into that. But the physicality was different. The original lady who did the Mystique, what was her name again?
Rebecca Romijn.
Okay. Now that girl had looked like Mystique. She had the thin, long body of Mystique. Jennifer Lawrence, to be fair, I mean, she's not a fat girl, but she's kind of a stocky, squat girl. Like Scarlett Johansson, same kind of stocky, squat body, right? That is not Mystique. It doesn't look Mystique at all. Now, if you're not a fan, a comic fan, then who cares? What did you say?
She can't play a mean Mystique, Jennifer Lawrence. She can only be like, oh, I'm so troubled and conflicted.
Well, you know what I mean. I guess this is something that only matters to actual fans, comic book fans. But the First Lady was way better Mystique than the Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and she had that, like I said, that look that she was dangerous. And old J-Lo does not have, or not J-Lo, but Jennifer Lawrence doesn't have that. She doesn't have that. She, you know, again, that one particular look, she always looked kind of, you know, like you said, oh, I'm so troubled, but she didn't have that. I could snap your neck at any moment here. I'll have a conversation with you, but I can, you know, I can change, you know, like basically the way that Rebecca played that in the first couple of movies there is like, you know, just the asp curled up in the corner that could strike at any moment, you know, still, you know, a beautiful creature to look at, but you don't want to get too close. And you didn't get that from Jennifer Lawrence at all.
That's a perfect description of what she was. That's exactly.
Yeah, very good job. Those writing skills coming out. Me Grimlock King 83 says Jean looks like a 40-year-old teacher looking for a teacher's pet. Maybe that is true. Yeah, I don't know what it is because I like this actress actually. I'm not bagging on this girl. I like her. I think she was really good in Game of Thrones, and when I heard, like I said, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, okay. But it doesn't work, man. It just doesn't work. And it's not just the look; it's more than that. But anyway, the point of this article, we are really having in-depth conversations today. The point of this article is to say that Kevin Feige is reviewing a film script that is in the can, which tells me we're not going to see this movie.
No.
You know,
no, and it's probably for the best. In all honesty, they probably should just reboot hard reboot
I
the
think
entire.
so. That's what I thought. That's what I expected. Right? Yeah. Now this right here. Denelli, this could be interesting.
Warner Brothers developing a live-action Plastic Man film. Hopefully, it's not the Gail Simone run.
Oh well, please God, no. But other than that horrible statement from Denelli's really mean today.
What about a dark comedy?
But this Plastic Man should be dark. It should be good because a lot of people, I think, take Plastic Man out of the cartoon, and that's all they know about him. But if you read the comics, his stories are actually very dark and sometimes brutal. And Plastic Man is a really cool character if they do it right.
Well, don't they have him in the Flash DC show as well, or didn't they, or something?
I don't watch that stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's the elongated man. Elongated
man. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Ralph Dibny. I don't know much about Plastic Man, so I can't really comment on this one. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, dude. It's not. It's just not that big an article. It's just the idea. I think would be cool if they do it right. Because Plastic Man started as he was like a kind of a small time mobster type of guy, a criminal. And you could, if you do it right, this would be cool. If they go for wacky, goofy slapstick, it'll be what it is. But that's nothing much here. It's just I wanted to. Denali had brought it up, and I thought it was worth mentioning. Now this right here, on the other hand, this is actually news. Denali?
Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan signs an overdeal with Legendary Studios. So, creator of Y the Last Man, Saga, Private Eye, and I think some other story. So he signed a deal to include of all those properties and
with FX.
Yeah.
Now, of course, most people. This guy's done a bunch of little stuff actually, but what everyone's going to know from him is either Y the Last Man, or of course the incredibly successful Saga. Now, I tried to read through Y the Last Man, and I didn't like it. I read Saga, and in the beginning, Saga was really good. I liked it a lot. But Saga has turned into absolute horrible progressive garbage. It's become real bad. But it started so beautifully, though. I really liked the story, the idea of it. Now, has anybody else here read Y the Last Man or Saga?
I read Y the Last Man, and by the end of it, it gave me no reason to read the Saga books. So when he ended it, I was like, no, I'm good, because I know where this is going to turn out. And you kind of proved my point that it started great, and that's what the Y the Last Man started out, and it ended with I'm like, eh.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
No,
I have read the first 2 volumes of Y the Last Man, and I thought they were quite good so far. I haven't read much more than that. And I have read everything Saga, and for some reason I'm still subscribed to it. I should probably change that, because you're right, Chester, it has become garbage.
Which is sad, right? Because it was really good, dude.
And I also recall that Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples mentioned that they would never want an adaptation to Saga, so maybe they got big enough of a check, who knows?
Well,
money talks at the end.
It's true, but I mean, the concept of Y the Last Man is certainly doable as a TV show, for sure. Matter of fact, you do it something in the vein of The Walking Dead, and of course it's not zombies, but it's going to be in something in that type of style, and it could be pretty good actually. Saga is a space opera. I mean, it's that would be awesome. And I just hope that they stick to the early stuff, not the recent stuff.
My problems with what Saga's become, it's very similar to my problems I have reading through Tokyo Ghost, right? It's just this vulgar dialogue that they're treating it as if it's so quirky, And they also do it with the narration, but it's in your face. It's trying to be hip and quirky. It's like, yeah, we're so bad. Look, we say the F word. It's like, you're trying too hard.
Yep.
You're trying too hard, Dad. Stop trying to be shocking. Write a good story.
Dad.
Yeah. Anybody else have any comments on why The Last Man and Saga going to FX for a TV show production? Anybody?
It just seems like one of those let's grab up what we can and throw it at the wall type deals.
Yeah, I hope it sticks. I mean, I would love to see them adapt Saga properly, actually. But cool. All right, let's move on. But I thought that was pretty interesting news. Now, this one right here is our last bit of news for the day. And Denali, you're going to have to cover this because I didn't really read but the first paragraph. So
Shame.
I do apologize.
So basically, Shogun Jump is trying to clamp down piracy scans, fan translation, by doing a release, kind of changing to their publishing by simultaneously releasing both the English and Japanese subs at the same time, and then changing the price point entry to $1.99 for unlimited subscribing.
Yeah.
So you can read all the backlog.
Yeah.
Correct. So you can read all the digital books and everything for $1.99, and you don't have to. You can support the artists and the writers on it instead of just going for the scan and waiting. So they're trying to eliminate that delay that will move forward with the fan translations. So that's a new announcement that they're doing.
Well, let's see. Let me check this little video out. What are they talking about here?
Hello, manga fans. I'm Hisashi Sasaki. I love manga, and I built my life around it. I was editor-in-chief of Japanese Shonen Jump, and I worked with American Shonen Jump for 15 years, and I learned manga can change lives. To remain competitive, Shonen Jump has to evolve. In the past, we've transitioned from print magazine to digital magazine, and now we are excited about the new Shonen Jump.
Now, so far, it's very interesting because I see a lot of times with video games, you guys can comment on this as well, but I see a lot of times with the video games, the Japanese come over. Now, you guys might not know this because you probably wouldn't expect this, but the Japanese are the worst English speakers on the face of this planet.
Well, no.
Yes, they
really.
Yes, they
really?
are. You can
really?
Yes, no, they absolutely are. You can go to
Yeah.
Papua
What
New
makes you
Guinea
say
and go
that,
talk to
bro?
a bunch of damn cannibals, and they speak better English than the Japanese. That's just a reality. So you
Right.
see a lot of these video game bosses come up and they want to talk on stages like E3 and stuff like that, and they're just going on and on Japanese. It's like, come on, you're talking to a Western audience that sell. The only one that gets that is PlayStation, right? They understand it, right? But this dude's coming up with understandable English, so good for you, dude. Now, I'm sorry, that's a personal
Excellent.
thing because I live here in Japan. So anyway, and I'm an English teacher. So
Right. And the thing is that they talk about evolving, to remain competitive, which is something that we're talking about, for comic books to remain competitive and viable, they got to evolve.
Yep.
And we got to continue that discussion.
and I have several stacks of these Shonen Jump around my house, by the way. My kids love this stuff.
We saw many new readers come to Shonen Jump when we posted free chapters this year. We learned that free access gets more people read manga. The new Shonen Jump will be legitimate, authentic, and safe. You can go to Shonen Jump website or app to read the newest manga for free on the same day as Japan. For $1.99 a month, Shonen Jump members will get access to new chapters as well as the back catalog of nearly everything Shonen Jump has ever released. By becoming a member, you can support mangaka
$2 a month?
and
Serious?
respect manga.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool.
Hope you will join
That is
us.
insane.
新しい少年ジャンプで
So-
お待ちしています。
Right?
That was something. So that's what I was thinking, for a discussion maybe next week on FanSpeak is, talking about platforms, talking about, I think we talk about this. You guys are doing anthology book with Gaming the System, with John Diller, Gaming the System, Tank
are.
Ferret, and for indie creators as well, to kind of try to get a platform, digital platforms, to kind of get those books out to readers, and then connect, when they connect to those things, you can have like a little link that says buy on demand, print, and kind of move forward from there. Because, paying $2.99 and moving forward to get a comic is easier for people to do so. And it's a good jumping point. So to get the artwork more involved, and gain, get a feel for the artist as well as like, hey, this is an artist that I do want to, or a team, writer and artist team that I want to support. $2.99. I pay $11.99 for Netflix, $2.99 for all these contents.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, dude. Their whole back catalog? Wow.
Yeah, their whole back catalog. And if I feel, that I want to keep it, then it'll incentivize me to go and actually get the proper book, the printed copy as well. So I think this is a good idea that Weekly Shogun Jump is doing, to promote their artists. And I think that's something we should look into as well as indie creators and supporter of comics as well.
Well, I do know with that project, Tales from Beyond the Gate project that I'm involved with. Tank Ferret is actually, that's what his job. He does merchandising and that kind of thing. I know that we are planning on doing things like putting that on Amazon.com and all that kind of aftermarket stuff is being planned and organized. So we're definitely looking toward doing that, and it's something that everyone should be doing, I think. But yeah, $2 a month, Booster. Wow.
Yeah.
Because you guys got to understand, their back catalog is huge, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that might legitimately be the best deal in all of entertainment. That is a monstrous back catalog for Shonen Jump.
Yes,
$2 a month. That's insane.
Huh. Any opinion on the manga, Johnny?
Well, it's not my area, that's for sure. But I'm blown away at that pricing. My mind's kind of reeling as far as thinking about a platform how indies could capitalize on that. But obviously, with their back catalog being so big, they already have the huge and large audience to be able to afford that kind of thing. So if there's a way to kind of build up something where you have that traffic there, it could work, especially for people that are trying to get themselves known. And so like he had mentioned in the video that, it allows people to see, or maybe it's one of you guys talking. So I'm drawing at the same time while I'm trying to do this stuff, just so I can stay caught up with everything. So I apologize, but and you get to know the artists, you get to see samples of their work, you get to know them better and relate to them a little bit better. So if you had something like that for independence, where some of these guys struggling to be seen or be noticed could actually put their stuff on there, make a little bit to at least cover their time and putting something out there and grow their own audience. I mean, that would be kind of cool to see. But $1.99, I'm like, wow, I don't know how that would work. But
do they have Afro Samurai?
They must.
What's that?
It's the entire back catalog. He said the entire back catalog.
Yeah.
All of it.
Like twice.
Yes. And not to mention
crazy.
Free weekly chapters.
Yeah.
So all the recent chapters would come for free.
Well, the weekly jump, I guess, is what he's.
Yeah.
A lot of long established entertainment companies, entertainment mediums have been kind of doing this. Like WWE has their own network, which is only $10 a month, and you get all their back catalog pretty much, even stuff from like way back in like the 70s and 60s. So a lot of them have been doing this, and it's a working model, especially if you have that huge, basically free content you can throw up there of that back catalog, because it's already paid for. So it's just extra money that you can just throw at it for nothing, and that you get back. And it's a huge bonus for, the fans who maybe didn't read the original run of this book or that book or this character or whatever. It's a great idea. And $1.99 is super cheap, but it's $1.99 American. I don't know what that translates to into yen.
That would be 237 yen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but will I be able to read things left or right?
It's in English. Yeah. And actually, that's kind of interesting thing for me. The fact is English, because to be fair with you, I'm kind of sick of reading comics in Japanese.
Yeah. So Dr. Wright says this model is more difficult for indie creators to pull off. Nothing to offer as backlogs, no capitals or customer to work with in the beginning, etc. Yeah. The reason why I'm bringing it up is we have to plan out not just for the immediate future, but for the long-term future and steps to get there as well. I mean, we have IndieCron that kind of moves with promotion, and this would be a natural, step or forum to continue on with that, continue promotions of these indie creators. And hey, Will, thank you for joining us. I was about to say you should join us as well to give your thoughts. Yeah.
You got an opinion, Will?
Yeah, well, I always have an opinion. But more or less, I mean, I think this is a great deal for them. I mean, it's kind of like everybody says, like everybody keeps saying, like, can we do something like this for an indie platform? Kind of. And IndieCron is working on it. We actually have quite a few ideas in the loop right now. One of the things, a couple of things that we're throwing back and forth, but we got to work out the logistics of it. We want to create a possible label through IndieCon itself. And we want to take care of like a lot of the logistics that people are kind of scared. These new independent creators and everything are a little bit scared of dealing with, like how many plates do I got to get? What about this? Do I got to pay for this? Or, how much is this going to be? What is it per run? Where do I go? We want to try and find some inroads and take care of that for people. And to make it easier, we want to make it easier for creators to create their content and to just be able to make stories and to come in and bam, release that. And one of the things that we were thinking about, I know a lot of people are already doing an omnibus, but we're thinking about doing one as well. We're thinking about doing one together with some of the smaller creators. You know what I mean? Put together like, say like 5 stories, around 150 pages, total, something like that. And then, have a cover on each side so that we can have 2 covers actually, sort of like they used to do, like Wizard did that for a while and Shonen Jump did that for a while. We were thinking about doing something along that lines. And then to listen, we've been listening to the public, listening to the outcry. The other thing that we want to try and make that would also fill some of this void is something called Insider Magazine. It's going to be basically a Wizard for indie comics.
Yeah, Wizard used to have just a small little section called Wizard Edge, and they really something. It was one thing because in writing a column for Wizard directed at the independents, it was one of the things that I was talking with Fred Pierce, the president at the time, about, and Scott, I can't remember his last name, the editor-in-chief, about what we can do to kind of put more of the spotlight on the independents, because that's where get away from just being a pimp magazine for just the big 3 that are out there, or even the big 5, if you will.
We want to compete. We want to win. Okay, this is a culture war. All right.
No, I understand that, and that's what would be great to have something that's focused purely on the independents and
exactly. And that's what we want to do. IndieCon wants to. We're going to take a political stance. We are going to do SJWs and these kind of thing, and we want to win. If we want to win, we want soldiers. You want to win? Come with us. Come do it. Let's win. Let's win this hill in entertainment. If you want to die on this hill or survive on this hill, you want to put a flag on this hill and say, you have come this far, but you go no further than jump in the boat with IndieCon, because we're going to go there. This next coming year, we are going to do a lot of things to help creators, and we're going to put their books out. We've also got a lot of books ourselves coming out, so we're going to push a lot of things really fast.
That's exciting. I love hearing that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, and I do want to I'm sorry, Chester, just a sec. I just want to make sure that everybody, IndieCon is right now, kind of a triumvirate sort of deal. It's myself, Jean-Loup Maisel, and Pixel. And the 3 of us are working hard. If you got any ideas, let us know, man. If you like these ideas that I'm giving you, let us know. Send these people some messages. Give them some love. If you haven't followed them, go ahead and do that. Tell your friends about it. Tell the other people in the community about it, because we want to win this war. We're tired of all the CG infighting. We're tired of all this other thing going on. We want to make this happen, man.
Yep.
Very cool.
Absolutely. And of course, Pixel Trader is a sponsor of this show, FanSpeak, and we're always happy to have him on and be involved with all the stuff he does, because he is a big part of FanSpeak, and everything that IndieCon is doing is moving us into the future and to have a better and more robust community. So thank you very much for all your work and help with Pixel on that, Dr. Wright. Well, guys, we have been going here for nearly 2 hours. We do appreciate you all for sticking around, even though we know there's a bunch of lives that have popped on. But thank you very much. What'd you say,
hungry.
Booster? Yeah, no,
I said I'm
lunchtime.
hungry.
You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just go down the board here and let's get any kind of contact information. And of course, Booster and I and Denali, we're all here on FanSpeak.
I'd like to let everyone know I have rebranded.
You have?
Yeah, I've got new avatar. I've got the Twitter and the YouTube are all now Kiwi Booster, so you can find me that way.
Sweet. So you've been actually doing some work. Very good. It's good when you got to get out of bed every now and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Thundaro, why don't you go ahead and give the people your links, man?
My only link that matters is right here. I'm going to be here every time we do a FanSpeak. I might pop on for more comics news today occasionally. Other than that, I will be around. And one thing I always like to say, speaking of infighting in certain movements, if there's ever a time you feel like you're alone or you feel desperate, any of us here will listen to you and will help you out.
Yep.
Because we all do want the same thing. We want to save this industry from the destruction that is the progressive crazy think. So at the end of the day, whether we, go at each other a little bit, at the end of the day, we're allies, and we have to remember that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's very true. You guys can always talk to us. And of course, we also had Dr. Wright jump in here. So why don't you go ahead and give us your links, please, sir?
Sure. You can always visit me at Dr. Wright is in on Twitter. I'm also going to be, I'm at IndieCron, one of the curators of that triumvirate now. Like I said, man, check out IndieCron. Go to IndieCron.com. We have submissions now for the upcoming campaign, where you can put your campaign out before it's in Indiegogo, before it's live, so people can look at it, get a good look at your pictures, your sequentials, and your story before it goes live, so they know they want to buy it or they can schedule to buy.
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet. And of course, we have Johnny Allen on here today, the creator of Stickman. Why don't you go ahead and give everybody your links, and trust that they are being dropped in the chat as well.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter at Stickman, STYKMAN. You find me on Facebook the same way, facebook.com/Stickman. The page is Stickman Lives. The website, stickmanlives.com, STYKMAN lives.com. And then the book is the relaunch of the series is currently funding on Indiegogo, and that's The Miscellaneous Adventures of Stickman.
Sweet. Thank you very much. And as always, guys, thank you all for coming in here today. We really enjoy you coming in and being part of all this fun and interesting comics news that we do day to day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also keep in mind that tomorrow we have a very different, but I think a fun show. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're not going to be doing comic news. We are going to be doing Godzilla Live. Gojira. Yes, thank you very much. And what we are doing, and thank you, this is all thanks to Booster. I know he is a dumb-looking bird, but actually he did something good.
I did it.
You did.
Yeah, I thought of it all by myself, even.
And what Booster has figured out is, because we can't watch a movie on YouTube, they'll give us a community strike and we'll be down for a month, right? So we can't do that. But Booster has figured out a way that we can all come together and watch the original Godzilla together. Tell them about it, Booster.
Well, we are going to be using a website called Rabbit, which is, you can also just find on Google just by rabb.it. And that will allow us to just watch the same thing at the same time, And I'll be putting down the link for the room in the chat while we're live, so you can just come on in there and you just gotta ding me. If you send me a message that says "Ding me, Daddy," I'll let you in right away. And if you're my friend on Rabbit, which I'm King Booster boy spelled B-O-I, I gotta fix that one. If you're my friend on it, though, you'll be able to just get in immediately.
Ding me, Daddy.
Ding me, Daddy.
Really? All right,
yeah.
Fine. Well, go ahead and drop that Rabbit link here in this chat right now, please. But goodness gracious, I can't take him anywhere. No, what we're going to be doing is, if you can take the time right now to go over and sign in, you can join with your Facebook or Google or whatever. It's real simple. But sign in and get yourself ready. And what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to start the stream here, and we will be talking while we're streaming. Everyone will also be over on Rabbit, and we will be watching it together, and we'll be commenting on it and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. And it's cool, too, because we're watching the original Japanese one, of course, with subtitles, but not the Raymond Burr version, the actual original one, which is interesting for me because I've actually never seen it. And for me, now that I speak Japanese, I haven't seen it since then. So we were previewing and checking out to make sure it worked the other day. I was actually really enjoying it because I understood it. from my point of view. We got subtitles for the rest of you guys though. But just for me personally, that was really cool. But definitely come over tomorrow and join us, guys. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's cool. And the thing with Rabbit is, we're going to do it with the Godzilla here, the 1954 one. But we could do with everything, dude. I pretty much Rabbit seems to have pretty much anything you want, right?
Oh yeah, it's a great little website. It's so awesome.
Yeah, we could even watch the Justice League and mock it for an hour. It would be fun.
Oh, yes.
I haven't even seen it yet. If I'm going to watch that bloody movie, that's the way I'd like to see it.
But that is going to be awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Movie nights with FanSpeak.
Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Be there, guys. It's going to be great. But anyway, we've come to the end of our time. So as always, we are going to let the Denali Lama take us out.
Well, thank you, Chester. Thank you, everybody who stuck with us the 2 hours and those who joined us, as well as those who are going to listen in the near future. Thank you all for joining us. Make sure you hit that like, and share. Please share to help us grow this community, because we are a community that are moving forward. But as always, you can always check us out on FanSpeak. And as always, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Later, guys.
See you guys.